Oh, excuse me. Ooh, I sound like Wheezy, don't I? Like Wheezy Jefferson with that deep voice. Anyways, giving honor and praise to the Most High for waking me up this morning and blessing me. I'm not going to be on here very long. I have a meeting to go to at noon, which is literally 20 minutes. So I don't even know why I decided to go live right now, but I was thinking about the Rob Reiner situation. Rest in peace to him and his wife. And then I got a snippet of the spiritual whistleblower. She's here on YouTube, and she be getting in parents' behinds, boy, them toxic parents. And it got me to thinking about, which is it? Is it just that kids are ungrateful, or are the parents toxic and it made them that way? I think it could be a case of both. I don't know the ends of that story or, the history of Rob Reiner's child, but there are a lot of what up, Riaz? There are a lot of ungrateful children, a lot of ungrateful adult children amongst us. And when you don't rear your child early on, here's the thing. I heard another content creator say you're going to either pay on the front end or the back end. That's good. I'm doing good too, Riaz. I'm glad you're doing well. You're either going to pay on the front end or you're going to pay on the back end. Meaning, the front end is when they're young and they're little and you're rearing them. And it's taking a lot of energy and a lot of patience. And it takes a lot to do the right thing, right? So when you discipline your children at a very young age, sometimes that takes a lot out of you as a parent. Because you don't want to hear their mouth. You don't want to hear them whining. You don't want to hear them, "What up, Mike? Nice? How you doing?" You don't want to hear their mouth. So a lot of times you just give in. You just give them what they want. Then they grow up to be young adults, and you got to deal with the consequences of not rearing that child when they were younger. So you either going to pay on the front end with the discipline, doing what you got to do, staying on their ass, or you going to pay later, bailing them out of jail, taking care of them financially, dealing with all of the issues that you should have addressed when they were 3 and 4 and 5. I'm doing okay. I'm not going to be on here very long. But I wonder what the situation was with Rob Reiner. There's also another thing that's going on. I don't know if you guys watch reality TV, but I do. It's one of my guilty pleasures, okay? And so I like Married to Medicine, and I decided that I was not going to watch this season because I'm trying to cut back on my reality TV. I like the competition ones. Those I stick with, but the other stuff, all of that reality with the bougie women and the husbands that don't know how to check their wife, I'm done watching it. But I've been seeing a lot of smoke as far as these last couple episodes on this new season. So I said, let me go ahead and check it out. And in this season, you have a woman who is a doctor, right? That's why it's called Married to Medicine, because most of the people are medical providers, right? So she's a doctor. They make very good money, including the money that they make from the reality TV show. So they are so rich that they have a north house and a south house, right? The north house is closer to her job. The south house is closer to like the kids and what they got going on, I suppose, right? So they're that wealthy that they could do that. Anyway, she was having a discussion with her son. One of her sons, she has 2. The oldest one is mild, meek, mannered, respectful, good kid. The younger one is very boisterous. He's like the voice of the family, okay? Very outgoing. He's one of those guys that will pledge, like one of those types, right? He's going to school to be a lawyer. So she's telling him at the dinner table, hey, you want a new car. Like the kid got a Jeep a couple years ago. He wants a new vehicle, right? Mind you, she bought them a condo so that both of her sons can share while they're both in college. And she furnished it. She can do that, right? She's already paid for his undergrad, and I think she has to pay for his graduate school. She's telling him, hey, I need you to do what you can to pick up your load. And now you also want me to buy you a new vehicle? Get out of here. And so what his defense was, what up, Gary Brown? His defense, the son's defense was, well, think about it like this. You have all of these white families that take care of their kids and they set them up for success. What's your excuse? Excuse you? So the internet has so much smoke for this son. I think his name is Michael. Because it's like, how dare you? Your mom has provided X, Y, and Z. And that was her defense too. Like, listen, I've taken care of you all your life, giving you everything you've wanted and desired. My job is done. I'm not able to retire because I'm still providing for you and your brother. Now, where I think Dr. Simone went wrong was she spoiled these kids and she didn't make them work for anything. So now it's just expected. That's why you have to be careful of the things you do. When you do too much, like I said before, when you do too much, it becomes expected. And people feel like they ain't got to work for it. And they always got the hands out, especially greedy family members. Another thing I don't like about this dynamic is that Simone is one female. She has a husband and she has two sons. So oftentimes it's her against three. She's never going to win that battle. And I just look at it and I just feel like, dang it. Like they can't even just let her get her piece out. She can't even say what it is that she's got to say and just get it fully off her chest so that they can fully understand where she's coming from. I would never want to be in that dynamic. My son is beating up on me and my husband is going at me, agreeing with the son. And of course, the son is going to agree with the dad, but she's taking care of everybody. What up, Go Cree Cree? She's taking care of everybody. And these people are ungrateful. They don't appreciate her hard work and everything that she's bringing into the family, monetary wise. But I tell you what, it takes more than just money to gain the respect of people in your family. Hey, Chelsea Lynn. It takes more than money to gain the respect of people in society. What are you doing other than that? You have to pour into these kids. And the one thing I noticed, and I don't know about Rob Reiner or their spiritual denomination or what they do, but even in the conversation with Simone, the lady on Married to Medicine, and her family, nowhere along the lines do we bring up the Most High. Do we bring up God? If you don't set the foundation of godliness in your household, it's definitely going to bring some chaos and confusion in there. Period. That's one thing I noticed. I'm like, dang, nobody ever talks about God and godly principles and just having morals and ethics and respect. Not paying financial, but with time, my family and exactly. It's that quality time that these people need, especially your children. When I was a big sister, I used to be a big sister for Big Sisters of America, Big Brothers and Big Sisters Corporation, and I had a little sister, and I loved her so much. I had her for 2 years before I relocated up here to Virginia, and her sister's big sister just stopped picking her up and spending time with her. So I took her and her sister on, right? And I would spoil her. I would take her to the harbor. Excuse me. I'd take her to the harbor. I'd take her to the movies. I'd buy her stuff. I'd take her to expensive meals, all this stuff, right? One time we bought journals and we went and we sat at a diner. We took a walk, we parked, and then we walked over this big bridge and we just talked. And there was these questions that I had that I printed out that I would ask them and they would just answer. And then we got to the diner and I said, okay, this is your journal. You guys write in it, talk, whatever you want to write about in here. But this is for you just to get things off your chest. If you feel like you can't talk to me, if you feel like you can't talk to your mom, write some things in this journal, you know. And towards the end of me and her working together, I asked her, I said, what was the most enjoyable time you had with me? And you know what she said? She said the time that we walked on the bridge and just talked. I said, out of all the money I done spent on you got to be kidding me. But then that's when it dawned on me. That's what kids need. That's what, oh, Janesta's in here. Hey, Janesta. Hey, Mr. RG. Hey, A-Team. That's when it dawned on me. Kids need love and attention, and for you to just sit there and listen to them, get to know who they are, rather than the financial. Is it appreciated? Is it needed? Yes, resources are absolutely necessary in order for us to thrive in this world. However, when it comes to building bonds and to really having people respect you, you got to take time out and listen to them. Get to know who they are. I have friends that don't know, you know, the names of my sister's name, or my brother's name, or my mom's name, or where they live, or you know what I'm saying? So that type of stuff matters. What it do? Look at Michael Love. Hey, Michael Love. Who's a troll in here? I don't appreciate the troll. We are friends. Yeah. But yeah, y'all. I think that typically parents do the best that they can with what they got, right? But once you become an adult, I am so sorry. It is up to you to make your life the best that it can be. They're saying that Rob Reiner's child had mental illness. They had all the money in the world to get him the resources that he needs. But sometimes, I don't care how much medication you take, I don't care how many couches you sit on and lay on and vent. Sometimes that's just not enough. Sometimes you just need your parents to say, I'm sorry, I effed up. Period. Sometimes you just need them to listen to you. And most times you need God. People are not incorporating God into their lives. You have to incorporate the principles of God, godly ways of being. You know what I'm saying? I pray to God that my child does not turn out to be like any of these kids I've been reading online. You know, I try to instill in him values of holiness right now so that he knows what's right and what's wrong. But most importantly, I discipline my child. I have to. Since he was little, I've disciplined him, right? My son was 12 months, maybe. This was before he started getting teeth. I breastfed my child for 14 months, right? 14 or 16 months, right? Because it was working. He was still eating. It was whatever. And I made fun of one of my coworkers because she breastfed her child till he was 2. And I was like, you breastfeeding him? I was like, so you mean to tell me he eats chicken nuggets and then you put him on your breast? Are you crazy, right? But then when I had my child and I was breastfeeding, I was like, this is comfortable. This is right. He's getting all the nutrients he needs. I need him to be smart. I need whatever milk, whatever is in the breast milk to kick in. I need him to be a genius, right? But my kid was maybe, I don't know, he probably was like 10 months or so. And the lady that was coming to my house, the nurse, I said, he's bitten me before. She said, you need to let him know that that's wrong. I said, how do I do that? She said, just express it. So I'm feeding him one day and he bit down with this bottom gum. And I was like, ah, I screamed in his ear to teach him, you don't do that. Did it hurt his feelings? Yes. Did he breastfeed for the next 2 days? Absolutely not. So I had to pump and feed him in a thing, you know, but it taught him not to do it again. So guess what? When he started feeding again, he didn't do it no more. So you have to discipline. You have to let these kids know from the jump when they do something wrong, you discipline them. That is a part of parenting. That is a part of love. If you don't love your children, you're not going to discipline them because you're going to do what's easy. This kid on here talking about, I want a new Jeep, even though I didn't have this Jeep for a couple years, it's practically brand new. I want something else because you got money. He literally looked at her and said, but you got the money to pay for it. Why not? You got the money. What? That lets you know you failed somewhere. I'm sorry, but you've failed somewhere. If your kid just sees you as an ATM, I'm sorry. Y'all getting on Mr. RG? Get at him. Chelsea says, Mo, do we need to report Mr. G? He got your pick as his pro. No, he don't. Get out of here. Oh, that is hilarious. I have an official troll, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, I've done that to somebody before. You guys have probably been on the live when I did it before just to troll this person. But I told him I did it later on. I was like, that was me, bro. I was just fucking with you. So it might be the same person doing it back to me. Who knows? I don't give a shit. As long as they not saying nothing racist, nothing disrespectful about women, nothing disrespectful about single mothers, we good. Let them rock. Saturated says, just because you have money doesn't mean you need to. Thank you. That part. Just because you got it don't mean you need. Invest, put it away. That woman literally said, I could have been retired if I wasn't taking care of you and your brother. Mind you, these two are grown. So he's expecting her to get him all the way through law school as well as undergrad and all this stuff. And I'm sorry, but at some point, you got to take the kids off the boob. You have to. Because how are they going to provide for their own families if you're still providing for them? There has to be a cutoff. There has to be limitations to everything. Now, I think that if you have the means, you should take care of your children. Absolutely, right? I believe that. But I just think there's limitations to everything because then you create monsters like this. And to me, that's being a toxic parent. When you don't hold your kids accountable for their misdeeds and when you allow them to just be who they are all the time, no, no, no. Especially if what they doing is ungodly, absolutely not. Saturated says, my grandma bought me a pair of skis for helping her get her house ready to sell. I still found a good deal on them because I don't want to break her. Exactly. Be respectful of people. Right? Just because they got it don't mean you got to get the most expensive thing. You know how many times I've taken family out and I said, get what you want. And they literally picked the most expensive thing. I remember my brother one time bought this shrimp thing and it was like this tall. It had pineapples and shrimp. That shit was like $75. I'm like, yo, I said, get what you want. His mom was so embarrassed. Like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. That's your son. Just be respectful. You know, you guys ever watch the Joy Luck Club? Very, very good movie about these Chinese family and friends and how they raise their children. And one of the ladies always taught her daughter, never pick the biggest crab. Never be the one to pick the biggest one. Never be the first one to reach in the pot. You let your guest go first, let somebody else have the biggest, and then you. That's called modesty. That's called humility. I raised spoiled with yeah, you get spoil and balance, right? When my kid does good, I spoil him. When he does bad, I take it away. But there has to be balance in there. Hey, DOY Creations, how are you? Who's Bob? Oh shit, are you Bob? Mr. RG, are you Bob? Has Bob made his rounds? So it is insane to delete. Thank you. Very insane to delete. Come on now. I don't give a damn. Listen, I've been through some. If I could tell y'all some of the stuff I've been through as a child, even then, I would never, never. It's never even crossed my mind to do something like that. That's demonic. That's demonic. And they should have had that boy in church. They should have been praying over their son from the beginning. You have to pray over your children because people don't want to see you win. They'll put spells and hexes on your kids, try to negatively influence your kids so that it ruins your life. Listen to what I'm saying. Be careful who you have your kids around too. What up, 18? He may have been raised by a nanny, that part. They probably didn't even take care of him. Ain't no telling. And if they were toxic, why did he stick around? Why was he dealing with them? Because apparently they had a big blow up discussion, argument at some other famous person's holiday party, and he killed them shortly after. But why do we stick around toxic people? Why do we? Not saying Rob Reiner was toxic, but just in case he was, why do kids stay around? Why do you stay around your parents if they're not pouring into you? Because you want resources from them, right? But it's not worth it. If somebody, I don't give a damn what they got to offer. I don't care. It could be good P, it could be good D, it could be they got money. None of that's worth dealing with toxicity ever. You got to cut it off. And God will provide for you whatever it is that you need. Good Luck. That was one of your favorite too, Cree. Yeah, very good movie. Awesome movie. It teaches a lot of life lessons in there. You still not over Bob? Aw, it's okay. Oh, he didn't change it to Cree's picture. He trolling all of us, y'all. She said, take my profile off your thing, fool. He'll be back. He says, I don't know what you're talking about. Habits are hard to break, absolutely, but you got to try one day at a time. Listen, I am on a coffee break, y'all, and I feel like my soul is dying. Oh, I haven't had coffee in over a week and I'm just draining. So whenever I take my medication, I feel it 10 times worse because it's just like, oh my God. My stomach is like, yay! Thank you. But my body is like, this is some bull. But it might be the sugar I'm just missing because I put a lot of cream and a lot of sugar in my coffee. DOY says a lot of parents forget all the bad things their children has done and still buy them. Exactly. Whoop that. You got to whoop that ass. That's discipline. We all got our asses whooped and we turned out just fine, huh? Right? Bob's good for business. I need more info. Yeah, exactly. We gotta see. I want to see what he says, what the son says, what happened. Why he did what he did. And I don't give a damn if even if he says his parents are toxic, that's no reason to delete them. I don't give a damn. Truth. The fact is that he stabbed both of them to death indicates severe emotional conflict. I wonder where the sister was. Yeah, because she's the one that found him. Your name is George. Sugar is very addictive. Look at Ty Pro. Good to see you too. You having your coffee now? Dang, you're making me jealous. And they're gonna have coffee at this meeting, and I'm just gonna look at it and smell it and just imagine that I'm drinking it. Instead, I got this tea, this chai tea. So I'm gonna just work with that. I'm having a horrible hair day, y'all. So I'm just trying to survive. I will never take a coffee break. Coffee is my favorite. It is, and it feels like everything that I love, I can't have. Just found out I got an allergy to chicken. I love me some fried chicken, baked chicken, sauteed chicken, grilled chicken, baked chicken, coffee, chicken, sugar. My name is Gabe. Good morning, ATX. Brown sugar, babe. The relationship must have been tumultuous. Years of drug abuse tells me the parents were just tired. Absolutely. At some point, the parents are just over it. Over it. You know? Ain't no telling what he told him at that Christmas party. He probably said, "You cut off. I'm taking you out of the will." And he said, "Oh, yeah? I'll show you." Because they said that their throats were slit. So, do you believe that the Menendez brothers, want to get out of prison for deleting their parents? Yeah, they crazy for that. I'm glad they were denied. I'm so glad they were denied. My ex fiance, I've talked about him a couple times on here. The one that went away for 20 years. He was in jail with the Menendez brothers for a little bit, and he said one was cool and the other one was just kind of stuck up, like he just whatever. But he said overall they were both cool people. Um, but yeah, you ain't got no choice but to be when you locked up. You better figure it out. Thank you, Ty Pro. I did too. I canceled Christmas on on a lot of people, not just my child, on a lot of people. I'm looking at all these people spending all this money. I'm like, okay. And guess what? I got an extra 1,500 in the bank because I didn't save my money. Heck no. My son keep hitting. He want this, want that. He said that one thing. My son's not big on, um, but he'd be like, I'll buy it with my own money. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. But y'all, I gotta go. Maybe I'll come back later, okay? I'll talk to you guys later. I gotta get in this meeting on time today.